I'm Phoenix Wright, and I don't really understand how that picture was taken from the front, but artistic liberties, I guess. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Ms. Starr?
How many years have I been getting the better of men?
Good for her.
To think that the tables could be turned.
God, I wish that were me.
Today, a man has got the better of Angel Starr.
Wow.
See, now I'm just Patrick Starr.
Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a
What
detective.
have you done?
You should know better.
I'm not turning back. Guilty will be punished,
I'm scared.
and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails.
So, you're acting like a prosecutor?
The guilty. Is she talking about Ms. Skye?
Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Ms. Starr lie? It doesn't make any sense.
Huh?
She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything.
Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. Objection! It still stands. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury.
Wait!
We're bringing this up now?
Wait!
She knows this, and so does everyone in this game, clearly. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
Is it just that none of the other witnesses knew that perjury existed? But she
Mr.
does.
Wright, you know
Who's
as
a
well as I do
detective.
that perjury does not fucking exist in this courtroom.
My apologies.
So, tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright.
Huh? Me? I feel like you could just take a soundbite at this point of me going, huh? And just pop it in there.
Take a shot.
Who
Oh
else?
god.
You would die.
Bye. Shot.
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know.
Ms. Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference. But what? What would change?
Difference in lighting?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's distance to the crime, but,
Yeah, that makes
I mean, you
sense.
can clearly see from the light on top of the partition that you would be backlit in the photograph, but...
It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. Objection! My condolences, Mr. Wright. But one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear.
Uh-oh.
The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I can tell distances at a glance. I don't see how that would change what she could see. Objection! What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime.
I guess so.
Ms. Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Ms. Skye?
Well, witness?
you.
Yes?
You ordered the squid wheels, right?
The quality
like
of my
rubber
lunches
bands.
has gone from low to inedible.
I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. I just really want to say boyfriend in the worst way possible.
Boysenberry.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend. Oh, thanks, Your Honor.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. Before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. It's usually what happens with a locked door.
There she goes.
Oh god. That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in B block.
That's quite a detour. Sorry.
You have to know
you're
that B
good.
block, every time I see it, I want to say block B because of the band block B, and it really makes me struggle every time. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
Jesus.
5 minutes.
Wow, 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
5 minutes.
This changes things considerably.
God, I hate this game.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him.
Sarah Beth's had enough.
It's just like
I know it. I have photographic evidence.
all this time with her testimony, and then it's all wrong. I'm gonna McFreaky lose it.
We have to extend the gameplay somehow.
I
God.
swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic
Oh my
spork.
God.
You have a point, and the
So does
spork
the
is a
spork.
wonderful invention.
This fork has many points. That's
I was
the
gonna
point.
See,
Der Spitz.
would you like another caviar lunch?
Is the cat there with little
Absolutely.
potatoes? That's cute.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something.
Do you ever just remember that you can microwave a potato at any time you want, and you can eat a potato?
Last time my family did that, our
If you're not a
microwave
coward, you don't
exploded.
even have to microwave it.
Well, now I want
Please
a
microwave a
potato.
potato.
I mean, that's bad for your stomach, but I will say I've plenty of times just eaten a potato that had been cooked, like an apple. Anyway, do I have any evidence to stop this? Glossing over this.
Wait, to stop what?
Me from eating a potato like an apple.
I was distracted by the potato discourse. 5 minutes thing?
I think so. I mean, I think I should just raise an objection, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Objection! 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time, if you like it al dente.
Or a
I thought it was
potato.
7 minutes. How about lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie?
I'm so lost in the metaphors at this point. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?
5 minutes.
Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone.
But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different.
Okay.
What?
Miss Skye dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable.
Clearly this guy has never seen cops. Yeah!
Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony with that yell. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go?
Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history.
We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright.
What does that mean?
What? That was too close.
I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned.
Jesus Christ.
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right?
That's the one she tried to foist off on me. I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say?
Ooh.
Spicy! I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
Are you
Oh
cracking
my
your
God.
knuckles?
Perhaps.
Ready to knock her lights out?
What was that? Sabine cracking their knuckles.
Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes?
My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Ms. Starr.
Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Sparkly sound effect.
Woohoo! A triple-decker!
I'm gonna lose
This
it.
judge has no spine.
Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony.
You have the moral backbone of a chocolate eclair, sir.
True.
Let's hear about this decisive evidence while I eat this lunch.
It has to be so far past lunch now. Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed.
I mean, how long has this been going on? Because at the beginning, Edgeworth said it was too early for lunch. This is not analysis that matters. What's she gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time?
I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene.
Maybe.
And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up?
Oh my god.
2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's. And the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. The shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
God.
Your blood type itself is not
Yeah.
super decisive. What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
What is this lady talking about? Objection! Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Honestly, rip Edgeworth. Like, this happens with all of his witnesses.
Literally does.
Yeah.
Simple. As I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's
The
why I took the liberty
prosecuting
of
attorney.
investigating this myself.
And you had blood tests performed?
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
Jesus.
I will say, like,
She
blood
has
typing
5
tests
hands.
are not that hard to do.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law.
We're
Evidence
really
law.
gonna bring that up now?
Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
At least for time ever, according to Mapio
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. He's allowed himself a mild smile.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective,
We haven't.
as I mentioned previously. This shoe's already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth.
She updated the evidence report.
Ugh!
The evidence report.
Yup.
This is it, the most eloquent thing Edgeworth has ever said.
Is that right, Mr. Wright? That's all I'm gonna say.
It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
Is that sullen?
That's stolen?
That's
Looks more like
That's
crazed desperation.
You could at least study some evidence law. Really.
I mean, I think
I mean,
Phoenix
we
breaks
haven't
all
used it
evidence
through the whole
laws.
game, so...
The prosecution complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law.
What's the second rule?
Don't talk about it.
evidence law.
I hate you guys. I'm leaving. I hate this game. I hate all of you.
Sabine, I wish I could high five you right now.
I am high-fiving you through the computer.
Yeah. However,
I could punch you right now.
Fight Club. It seems you have yet another count against you with.
So full of toxic masculinity.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Can I once examine the shoe?
No.
I mean, can I? Can I rotate this shoe?
Probably.
Hell yeah, baby.
Enamel shoe?
Fresh evidence? You bet I'm gonna rotate this bad boy.
Oh.
Gross.
This blood. It's my sister's, right?
That's why
It's
we don't wear
ketchup.
white shoes.
It appears so.
Nail
What?
polish.
Lana's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime.
Time of the crime.
Allegedly.
Crime time. Poor sis.
Okay.
Oh.
Ah! There's blood here too.
On the sole of the shoe? It's gotta be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood.
Ooh.
Gross. All this blood. It's horrible.
This blood might be an important clue.
Yeah?
I think that's it.
Phoenix Wright. Expert
Ace attorney. Okay.
That's it. That's the joke.
That's it, that's the game.
It literally is.
I didn't press this, did I?
You didn't press anything.
Well,
No, the core of the game is catfishing, as we've
hold it!
discussed.
Oh no.
I'm gonna kill you.
And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime?
I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive.
So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe.
Hmm.
I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime,
So you stole evidence.
just like Phoenix Wright. This shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen.
I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag. Really.
In case In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime.
It's fine. Phoenix hasn't been arrested yet.
Now, tell us what you did next.
What? Is this the murder weapon?
Get off my dick!
Hold it! So you brought it to the forensics department?
If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. Phoenix didn't know that, okay? I'm educating the rookie. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert.
Forensic analysis? In my Ace Attorney game?
And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective.
The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on.
You think?
Great observation, Judge. Well, a man was stabbed, after all.
And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman?
As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe.
Hold it! You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test.
Hell yeah.
Claim to know something about blood tests, rookie?
I do.
Huh.
Well, speak up!
Well, blood comes in 4 types. A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood.
What?
Are you kidding?
That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types of with all the blood tests out there. Which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear.
That's pretty specific.
If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. They said there's very little doubt that it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe.
That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. Hold it! I can't let this evidence go through without a fight.
You ordered the peppered fish guts, right?
Oh?
Some, like your client, she's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup.
Yum.
Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe?
I
Do we have a
do.
problem?
In
with-
principle, it's a white enamel shoe. What the hell?
Yeah.
A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe?
Yes.
I'm sorry, just out of context. Like, this is critical. I almost just clicked there's no problem by accident.
Oh man, you mean that's not the answer?
If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction.
What is it?
Enough.
That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie.
How old is she compared to Phoenix?
I don't know, we could check the
Check the
old is
corpse.
she?
list of people.
31.
She's 31.
Oh wow. Wait, how old is everyone else?
Phoenix
So
is
she's
24.
7 years older.
Yeah.
Old
She's
is-
16.
16.
Lana's 29.
Wow. She's
Jake's
prosecuted for 20.
33. Bruce Goodman's 36.
Alright.
Was 36.
Was. Sorry.
The victim and a good man.
I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe?
It looks bad.
This
Oh.
game
Show
was
us
made
the
in like
problem with the evidence.
2001.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hmm. What's the problem, guys? Is there like a little bit of red? Or is that like the reference?
Sorry, what? Where?
No, I see it too.
There's like little bits of red.
They're
Yeah,
like-
probably just graphic glitches.
What? Where?
It's gone now.
I have a
They're
massive
like-
monitor. How did I not see this?
It might be. I think
It's probably lag.
it's only in the stream.
Yeah.
I don't see it anymore.
These shoes were made for dancing. These shoes were made for flipping, and that's
Okay,
what
guys, what are we
do.
clicking on? The bottom of the shoe?
That young Marco's good. Remember that? These shoes are made for flipping ad against Marco Rubio. Young Marco's gonna flip on you.
What?
No?
I have no idea
No.
what you're talking
I'm gonna
about.
send you guys
No,
this
okay,
video
I
after.
do,
No.
I do know, but what an obscure take.
I'm only here to give the most obscure references.
Fucking Sumner affair. Okay, what are we presenting?
I don't know.
Emma said the
I'm-
bottom of the shoe.
I mean, it does seem kind of improbable that he would step in a pool of his own blood. Like,
Isn't this Lana's shoe?
No, this is Goodman's shoe.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, I agree that it would be improbable that he would step in a pool of his own blood. So let's go with that.
Take that! I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe.
Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
Holy shit. Maybe refrain from threatening the defense attorney in the middle of court. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe.
It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe?
Good question.
Wasn't he in the trunk?
Yeah.
the photo, there's no blood on the ground?
Oh, yeah, that might.
Oh no.
This photo, then?
Sure.
Take that! The problem lies in the footprint.
Footprint?
Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime?
Aha!
As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. Objection! This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Objection! Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. The fact that they keep doing these close-ups is sending me.
Yeah.
They're just screaming at each other from 10 feet apart.
Order! 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 Well, witness?
What? Huh?
Great going, Mr. Wright. But it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh!
That's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright. Think.
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions.
This whole
What?
career rests on that talent.
Hold it! I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony.
Edgeworth, why are you doing this?
What are you talking about?
Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr!
I am so glad we got to hear that again.
Yeah, no room for sexy.
I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. I, on the other hand, furiously kick over oil drums all the time.